It's time for Gardening Inside Out, a live show offering you plant advice for any space in your life. Introducing your perennial hosts, David Bates and Josh Carey.
Hey, good morning and welcome in, everybody. It's time for Gardening Inside Out, coming to you from Bates Hollow. A crisp and glorious Bates Hollow this morning in the Bates Nursery and Garden Center and inside the Green Room Studios here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, because it's a glorious day. There's going to be a no excuses kind of day today, isn't it, David Bates?
Absolutely no excuses, and we're grateful to have everyone in on this indeed a brisk start to a Saturday morning, but the outlook for the day and the foreseeable future, weather-wise, is, in a word, wonderful. So let's just get right into it and discuss that, Josh.
Okay.
We've got 39 degrees here at our weather station here at Bates Nursery. So that is something noteworthy. It's been chilly for, well, this week we've had some light frost and that kind of thing, but that's typical. It's that time of year. Today, we're expecting a high of 74 degrees, and I actually think the partly cloudy stuff is mostly out of the way. It's going to be
it's mostly sunny.
By beautiful sunshine, and 41 for the overnight low. So we're warming up a bit. Tomorrow, 77, 43 for the overnight low. So that trend towards slightly warming temperatures will go throughout the next number of days. 78, 47 Monday. 81.54 on Tuesday, 82.54 on Wednesday, and we've got dropping temperatures back down into the 70s and into the 40s for the lows, maybe staying into the 50s as we get into Friday. So, it's a really outstanding outlook. Would give a quick check of the radar, and you'll see there's just not much to look at. Down here in Central America, in the Baja, not Baja, but in the
Baja.
Yucatan.
Baja's over here. Down here in the Mexico and Central America, there's I don't know if it's going to make a hurricane or not, but it's a big rainmaker, but has nothing to do with us.
Nope.
And with almost no one, there's just a small area out west in Colorado and New Mexico, pretty much rain-free other than that. And if we look at the I don't know where
What's Tesla stock doing this morning, David?
Let's go to that one. We are 17 days now without rainfall.
Wow.
And it is indeed, we're still warming up, 39.7. So we've gone up almost a degree since I started talking. And so that means I probably said enough about weather. It's
oh my
beautiful day, and it's a wonderful for anything that you're thinking about doing in the gardening world or otherwise, you just can't get much better conditions than this. And so we're looking forward to hearing what people have got their minds on in their garden and whatever else is going on. But hearing their minds first, we need to be thinking towards our expert panel that we have, the people that make all of this a lot easier, because we don't have to do the whole show anymore like we did for
and they're TV stars too.
18. Yes, they are.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Caroline Gant, Austin Lowen, welcome in, guys. Glad to have you in today.
Good morning.
And
good morning. Great to be here.
Talking about what's going on. So what do you guys know? I know we did get a shout out on the local newscast this week. Tell us about it.
It was a great time. News Channel 2.
Yep.
I believe.
It was. It was a Zoom call.
Yep.
It was it was an interview.
We zoomed from here.
We did. We talked about the cold weather that's coming up. I talked about the outside stuff, the things you need to be thinking about, and Caroline talked about all your indoor plants that need to be moved in because it's pretty much time.
Yep.
Mine aren't in yet.
I know. You're the houseplant queen, and your plants aren't even in yet. You texted last night, you said you got eight of your plants in last night?
8 more. So that's a total of 12 that I have in now.
But you know what's cool is that you've got 70 plants or something, you told me, something like that.
That are outside.
That are outside. But we've had some cold nights, not 32, but we have had, in our area, I think we got down to 35.
We did, yeah.
And tell us about your plants. Are they alive? Did
they
they get damaged?
No
Did they
damage
get hurt?
on anything.
Which is great to know.
Nothing.
Because plants can't, we don't recommend you keep your indoor plants out when it gets lower than 40. That's typical. But Caroline's experimenting and seeing what can take it lower than 40.
Am I experimenting, or have I just not had a chance to bring them in?
We're not going to talk about that. We're experimenters.
But yeah, typically I would say when the night temps start dipping into the low 40s is when you want to have your houseplants inside. So clearly I'm not taking my own advice, but I haven't lost any yet.
Yeah, sometimes it is about doing what we say and not what we do. And
Exactly.
there is a certain validity to how much it adds to our information base to take some chances here and there to be able to get a better understanding of really what you can't talk about what the limits are on any given plant or species unless you have experienced those limits. So if you always, from our perspective, if everything is proceeded with extreme caution, you don't get that information. So now sometimes the caution just gets forced on us, and maybe that's what you're feeling, and your rationale is, Caroline, is that you it's just been too busy, and you say, well, I need to test these plants to find out what they're
who's tough and who's not.
They're all
That's right.
very tough so
Yeah.
far. But I did remember something, I think yesterday when I was talking to Tyler about bringing my plants in, I had a huge monstera that I had cut back, just a split leaf monstera last year. And it was just a big stem in the pot, about that big around. And I left it out all winter and it didn't die.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
It didn't look good,
Yeah.
but it didn't die. I was shocked. I don't know how it survived.
You know, one time I left a ZZ plant outside at my mother's house, and she had it was in a pot, just a container.
Was it on top?
Gosh.
Okay.
Nice one.
Ba-dum-bum.
The ZZ top plant. So I left the ZZ plant out, just straight up tropical, like should be indoors, whatever. I left it outside all winter long in a pot, just chilling. Didn't do anything all winter, and it literally waited until it was April, May. I think it was June, like around June, and then I realized it started reshooting from the roots. Yeah, like through the whole winter, came back from the roots. So like it's amazing what plants can do sometimes, y'all, even in the coldest of cold.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But I don't recommend, if you really love your plants, pushing them that far.
Yeah.
But all of mine are okay, in case you were wondering, in case you were concerned, and I will get them in hopefully very soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
But that's what I have on my mind.
Oh,
Hey,
I got cleanup on my mind.
cleanup is
It's going to be brutal. I'm going to be worked to death today.
Same, Josh. Same. I've
How
got
do
so
you
much
hold
cleanup
up,
to do.
Josh, you poor thing.
She's in charge today, David.
Well, that is until kickoff time. This is the third Saturday in October.
She understands that.
Obviously, sporting that orange today, Josh. So
Yeah.
we I think it's not any secret of what state we broadcast from. So should be an interesting challenge today on the gridiron.
Yep. Josh, you better get home, get to work, buddy.
Yes,
You got work to do.
absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Speaking
Also,
of work to get done, I'm sure we have a lot of questions out there from our folks who are serious about their gardening efforts.
That's
and
right, Risha. Go Vols.
Serious
Rish.
gardening questions. Did
Rish
you
is
have something
here.
to say?
Well, I was just going to say someone else is here. We haven't seen the Tyler Cam yet. Tyler Cam,
there you
Tyler
go.
Cam.
He hadn't got his lights on.
Tyler Cam, where's the button?
You guys caught
Come
me
on.
off guard.
You are sitting in the dark
Alright.
today. There he is.
Yeah, and I didn't cut my light
Hello.
on. How about that?
You're
know
doing
what?
great. You're
It's okay.
looking great. You're sounding fantastic.
You have
and
your
you're
pumpkin
here.
spice? Is your pumpkin spice on me?
My pumpkin is not spice. It's just regular coffee flavor.
Tyler.
That's rare for you.
It is, but
This
you know
time of
what?
year.
I like to never let people know my next move.
Oh.
Keep them guessing.
So,
like
including
a
And
myself.
you don't want to get in a rut either. You don't want to become
right.
predictable to yourself.
Exactly. I love it. It changes me up so much when I do that.
Nice.
Keep yourself guessing, Tyler.
All right.
I'm confused. Let's go.
Yay! We've successfully confused Tyler, so let's get into questions. All right, we're going to start with a peony question. How and when to split peonies to share with a friend?
Aw. First off, that's
I love
super
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Always share with your friends. Do it during dormancy, like we always talk about, y'all. Peonies, however you want to say it, they're looking rough right now, okay? That's what they do. Their foliage is not looking great.
No.
I'm sure you've noticed. But still, let that foliage up. Let it stay up and green until we get those really cold nights to where they're going to turn to mush, lay on the ground, and look all floppy. You're going to cut them back, and then you can dig them up and separate them.
Yeah, I'm going to transplant mine.
I hope my wife listens to that because that's the first thing she sees when she gets out of the car in the driveway.
Oh, I'm sure. They're awful right now.
Oh,
Like, you want to cut them so bad. And Like we were just talking about with
Mine look
Caroline
fine.
and your plants. Yeah, like you can do things we recommend things, but that doesn't necessarily mean if you literally cannot stand your peony right now and it looks so bad that you just hate it, then cut it.
I
Then
think
just
it's
cut
fine.
it back.
It's just we got a dispute over
But
this.
if that is the case and your life is so focused about your
Peony?
despise for this peony that doesn't look wonderful right now, then maybe there are bigger issues at play.
Yeah, that's true.
Perhaps.
Dun dun dun.
That's right.
Ooh.
What about planting a peony or a perennial that comes up later in front of your peony?
That's what I do. I layer mine, so then they're hidden. I have lamb's ear in front of one of mine.
Mine's big though, so I don't have enough room to put anything in front of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
It's taking up that whole spot.
It's taking up
Sounds
that
like you
spot.
might need to dig it up, split it, and share it with a friend.
Yeah, maybe I could.
You know,
Yeah.
Dig it and split it.
peonies are one of those things that I find that like with most perennials, I typically want to go in groupings of like 3s and 5s. You know, I want like a mass of it. But peonies are one of those things to where like you can just use one peony.
How do you say that word?
I know. I usually
Peony.
say peony, but
I
a lot
do
of people
too.
say peonies. But you can use that just as a singular, focal point in the garden that blooms literally only like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like if you're lucky.
That's
but
my
when
Ito. It's
in
right
bloom,
there by itself.
it's so good.
Yep, absolutely.
It's worth all those leaves that look kind of bad right now.
Mine is actually an heirloom from a man who has a parkway named after him in Smyrna, Tennessee.
Wow.
Came from Mr. Victory's house over there. So Mr.
Well,
Lee
there you
Victory.
go.
It's
Hey.
gorgeous. So maybe I should pay it forward a little bit.
I think you should.
You should.
Okay. Okay.
Split it up.
I wouldn't say no to getting some of that.
Well, you
No.
wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I love. That's one of my favorite flowers.
I mean,
So.
so many people's favorite flowers.
I know.
like-
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no, they're beautiful.
They are. They're gorgeous. Well, we've been talking about cutting plants, so let's get to another question. How to know which plants to cut to the ground and which to leave alone for the winter?
This is a very good question, actually.
Yes, it is.
And it really depends on the plant. We need to know what kind of plants we're talking about, and like how for you to know without just knowing is kind of tricky. I mean, for the most part, if it's say like shrubby, like woody stems, a lot of times we can leave those up and not prune much. You can shorten some things, but it really depends on when their bloom cycle is. I mean, it depends on a ton of things. So honestly, we need to know which plants you're talking about because, like, say, beautiful endless summer, either blue or pink, like hydrangeas. Like you would think those sticks are like really, really ugly over the wintertime. I kind of want to clear cut them. Well, you can't do that. If you do that, you're not going to get a bloom set for the next season. So this is very, very plant specific on which ones we're going to cut and which ones we're not.
Like if you have a witch hazel, you don't want to you don't want to trim it back now because you're cutting off all your flowers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Forsythia, the same way. Like forsythia can get huge and it's
Who
going
are
to be
you talking
big right now.
to there, Josh? Anybody in
And
particular?
I'm not speaking anybody in
Well,
particular.
you've got a
but-
witch hazel
Ooh.
in your yard,
all
right?
right, witch hazel, Diane.
It's getting big, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Did you say it's
Also, it
big?
grows like weeds.
I thought you were
it-
about to sing a song.
it's about, I think at the peak, probably 9 feet tall.
Nice.
I mean, and it.
Oh, mine's only about 5 right now. I
Well,
can't
and we
wait for it
took
to
it
be that
back.
tall.
We took it back in the spring, and it's a growing machine.
Is it just the
is.
American witch hazel? Is that the one you have?
Witch hazel, Diane.
Diane.
Oh,
was the
Diane.
cultivar, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's awesome. And that witch hazel blooms at the weirdest time of year. I mean, when like I said, nothing is in
else.
bloom.
Yep.
Yellow or red, like super
It's
cool.
amazing.
Cool color
love
flowers
mine.
this fall too. I mean, cool color foliage this year. I mean, it's turning a really nice little
It's like
yellowish orange.
yellow orange, yeah.
It's nice.
They're starting to do it. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, my paper bush has giant buds already set because that, like witch hazel, is something that's going to bloom when nothing else is blooming.
Yeah,
And it's
definitely.
going to be great.
So, like I said, we need to know which plants we're talking about, and we can help you with that.
Yes, we can. Right? Is it too late to plant pansies? And do you guys still have them? Oh my gosh, we do.
Yes.
Boy, do we.
Jane was back there cleaning, organizing pansies yesterday. They look great. We are full. Well, I wouldn't say we're fully stocked. They're selling.
Oh, they're selling for sure, but we have a ton.
Carts and carts
to
are
choose
going
from.
out.
Yeah, and is it too late? Definitely not. You need to get them in. Like, it's time to go. But
And part of the thing that needs to be kept in mind with anyone who's contemplating pansies and planting them, I mean, you probably got annuals that are still looking good, so there's always that conflict. But you do know, based on the weather this past week, that we're going to have more of the cold weather So the summer annuals are a short-term thing at this point. If you're going to do pansies or violas, any of those cool season things, got to get those out. The other thing is availability. And while we've got a great stock right now, our suppliers have become decidedly more hesitant to speculatively grow an extra amount. So consequently, we wind up running out frequently before people have had all of their demands met. So you need to be thinking ahead if it's really important to you to get those purchased and get them at your house, because if they sit here, somebody else may get them and simply may not have an opportunity to purchase. Specifically when it comes down to certain colors that you're looking for, we may have an adequate supply of pansies in general, but if you're looking for a specific color coordination, that only makes it more imperative to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. Someone in this room is a little disappointed about pansies right now, but we're not going to talk about that just yet. We're going to talk about our next question. What flower can be planted that's not a pansy that flowers over winter? A viola. Same thing.
Y'all, there's nothing else. I don't know if someone knows something different than me, let me know, please, because I don't know of any other flowers that bloom through the wintertime like pansies do.
Right.
But what's wrong with pansies? Why do y'all need something else? Like, pansies are so good.
They are.
In every color, pretty much. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yes.
So it's like, what else? What else is going to be blooming? I mean, there's other, like we were just talking about, your witch hazel blooms at a really weird time over the kind
February.
of the, yeah.
I mean Lenten rose blooms at the end of winter.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
still not something that's going to bloom over
Continuously.
winter.
No, we just don't have that here.
No, we don't.
I'm sorry.
I know. I've been getting a lot of those questions. I've been stuck back in the greenhouse. No, I wouldn't say stuck, but getting the chance to stay back in the greenhouse and help. And people have been asking, like, other than pansies, I just want something that is going to flower all winter. It's like, there's nothing.
And like David talks about all the time, sacrifice your blooms for foliage color.
Yeah.
I think that's where getting them out early, people, I believe, don't really realize the selection of different colors that are available. But if they tend to choose them late, they don't realize that there's maybe some specific color they're looking for because we're already out of them. So pansies really have a nice range of color, and they're quite a captivating show for wintertime. And of course, their really best time is in the early spring when they really start flushing out at that point. So keep them in mind.
Keep them in mind. Can chives and mint grow outside in winter? It's on a covered porch.
Mine do.
Yes, of course. Those are great over the winter. A lot of times.
You can't kill mint. I mean, you can, but it's hard.
It's very hard to kill mint. Yeah, mint is one that you need to grow in a pot, not in the ground, because it will take over the earth. But if you do keep it in pot, mint, well, a lot of times mint will stay up and even like show foliage through the wintertime. I mean, if it gets real nasty, it'll like look real bad and not be,
Do not let it get away from you, folks.
No, I have it in my yard, and I harvest it in the winter and use it for tea. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it does. We have it in the back sold lot area. We had mint that escaped one time. It just escaped, and now it's just back there. It's a part of our life now. Like, it's not.
And it's not a bad thing to have.
It smells good when you cut the
And I
grass.
even applied non-selective herbicide to that area.
It laughed at you, David Bates.
I mean, it's very, very. And there was somebody apparently dumped, like some dead plants back there when it was in a prior use where there's a building now. So it grew out from underneath the edge of the slab into this area. So what you're Austin's saying is true. So heed that warning. It can really make a mess.
Oh, it can. It escaped. I have some mint in my front bed now that escaped, and it has grown under my sidewalk and to the other bed on the other side.
You should pair it with
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we can get some warm season grasses and just let them run crazy in there and have it.
I was about to say, I mean, it's kind of like Bermuda grass.
Yeah.
Like
It really is.
And
I tried to dig it up, and it's a bed that has really loose soil. So I actually removed everything because I was redoing it, and I got I definitely didn't get all the mint out, but I remember just pulling
ropes.
Ropes is the perfect word. Just stacked on top of each other, and I tilled the soil with my hands, got as much out as I thought I could, and it's back with a vengeance.
You rejuvenated it.
I did. Yeah, I probably just made it worse.
You know what else would rejuvenate something, David Bates? I bet you do.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
I do have a personal feeling about that, and it's Earth Mix Garden Products. And it doesn't really matter what you're growing, Josh. You know, you
No.
grow a lot of things at your house.
Yes, I
and
do.
I don't know of anybody who's more willing to try uh, to test the boundaries of not just what you can do horticulturally, but what your relationship can handle.
Yes.
Because you know you haul a lot of different stuff out of here,
Yes.
and but the thing of it is that when you use the best soils and amendments, you're going to get the best results. And really, what Earth Mix is about is, as a gardener, stacking the deck in your favor, giving you the best opportunity to have the greatest success with the least amount of effort. And that's what Earth Mix is all about. And it doesn't matter which product you choose. There is a wide variety of Earth Mix products available for every particular application. Overall gardening, you know, there is a product called Earth Mix Garden.
Yep.
And it's a good, ready to use, already pre-blended. Just open the bag, dump it in the hole or in the area that you're planting in. You don't have to do anything else. If you're specifically planting some things in your landscape, well, there's a great product called Earth Mix Landscape. And it doesn't have soil in it at all, but what it has is all the other great things Mother Nature provides, and in the right proportions, and extra things are added to it, such as Earth Mix Supernatural, which is our very own blended, specially formulated organic compost that gives you the best of everything Mother Nature offers, with additional things such as endo and ectomycorrhiza fungi,
Yeah, baby.
humic acid, and in addition to being a great organic compost, Supernatural is an input into a number of other products in the Earth Mix line of families. There's that and a whole lot more. Worm castings, Faragra is the name of that. And by the way, magic mushroom compost, and a lot more. Caroline, of course, deals most specifically with indoor plants, and she'll be quick to recommend Proganics I, which is the professional organic indoor mix. As a matter of fact, all Earth Mix products have one thing in common: is they're all 100% organic. No peat at all is involved in the production of Earth Mix products. So you have coconut coir and other things that are going to give you the very best. So just remember this: success in gardening begins at the ground level when you choose Earth Mix garden products. And when you choose them, there's a lot of places to choose from. If you go to earthmix.net and click on the map, you'll see all these pins. This is a lot here in Tennessee, Kentucky, even over North Carolina and Alabama, and way over here, Victory Gardens over in Meridian, Idaho, and more on the way. So check it out at earthmix.net. Remember this: success in gardening indeed does begin at the ground level when you choose Earth Mix garden products. And thank you for giving us a minute to discuss that and help you in your gardening efforts.
Yep. You use the best input so you get the best output every single time. We have more questions.
We do have more questions.
I thought we did.
But I feel like we have something to get to before
I know
questions,
we do.
right?
What's in bloom with Austin?
This will take a minute.
Hey, maybe more than
I don't know. It's going to take a while.
No, it's not going to take too long, but I'm doing something different, y'all. I was thinking about it last night. You know what? There's a lot of the same stuff that's in bloom, okay? So I'm going a different route, and I'm going to tell y'all a story, a saga, if you will.
Oh.
Oh.
Story time.
It's a whole
Settle in,
thing.
everybody.
Tyler, get the picture up.
Wow.
Sorry, please. Tyler, please. Look. Okay, look. This is my pot on the right side of my door. I've got 2 pots, okay? Me and my 3 daughters planted this pot together. I put the little sign in it. I put the pumpkins in it. The gnome, pure white pansies with pure white tulips below that. So fancy. I use landscape in the pot, and they are money, okay? Those are in
You're
bloom.
talking about Earth Mix landscape, right?
Earth Mix Landscape for sure is always my choice when it comes to my containers.
And a Mediterranean blue container.
Oh, it's so
Stunning.
good. Turquoise,
Stunning.
we like to call it.
Turquoise.
Yes, but look at the pumpkins, the little goose pumpkin or goose gourd in there on the left. I had a hole where I needed a pansy. I didn't have enough, so I put the goose gourd there.
It's perfect.
That's great. Okay,
It is.
well, let's go to the other side. I've got something to tell y'all. Tyler, just move it over. I'm
Boom.
Tyler. Look at this, guys. This is a phenomenon. Very front of the pot. The exact same. Everything is the exact same. Look at the back 4 of those pansies. Look at them. Even as a seasoned horticulturalist, that's all he's ever done. I've been growing pansies every fall for the past 15 years. Look at those back 4 pansies.
Oh, man.
Okay,
They got dry.
So sad.
No, listen. This is a phenomenon, David. It's amazing. Everything was watered the exact same. Everything was planted the exact same. Mm-hmm. The biggest difference is I used a synthetic fertilizer. Okay, premium bedding food, which is a great product. It literally has pansies on the label. I've been using it every year for years. Okay, but I let my 6-year-old daughter Marley.
Oh, Marley.
Pour in.
Shout out to Marley.
Shout out, Mars.
Get it, girl.
Love you. And I let her pour in the fertilizer. Okay. She was like, Dad, can I try it? Can I pour it in? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, but it's kind of full. Be kind of careful, And it was a dump it in. Oh God, that's too much. Yes. Way too much. And me, being me, I just looked at it and Marley was like, sorry, Dad. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay.
It is.
I was like, we're going to mix it all in. It's going to be fine. I should have taken some of that fertilizer out, people. I should have done it, but I didn't. And you know what? I planted it all, everything the same, whatever, watered it all the same. And what I think I know is that when I watered it, a lot of fertilizer congregated in that back quadrant of the pot. And they almost immediately turn like that, y'all. Don't be like me. Read your fertilizer label.
Don't be like
and do it
Austin.
properly. Do not put too much fertilizer in your pot because literally I looked it up last night. I've just typed in fertilizer burn on plants, that vague. And I got so many different pictures of plants. All of them looked very similar to those 4 pansies in the back of my pot because I overdid it. And I'm
Too much.
sorry. It was way too much. It was a 7-22-8. Those were the 3 numbers that are in it. The middle number is really good for root development and flower production. That's why I love this product. But if you use it too heavy, that's what can happen to your plants. And that's what happened to me. That's what's in bloom and what's not in bloom.
Did you make
No,
a
I'm not going to be
run-lapse?
okay. I'm out 4 pansies. I got to get those. I got to move, get that dirt out of there, I think, because
my
it's
gosh,
too
gotta
heavy
get
with
those hands
fertilizer.
back in there.
Hands in there, pansies out, new dirt in, new pansies in.
Hey, and you know what?
What?
We're out of white pansies.
Uh-oh.
Caroline, why you got to break my heart like that, man?
I'm so sorry. Well, you know what?
Maybe
we don't
you
have
could get
4
some-
white pansies back
I
there?
don't think so.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Great.
This
But
is
you know,
great.
the time you got to spend with your daughters was well worth it.
I'd have made her run laps.
It was-
You get them down. Give me
But again,
push-ups.
this brings
Give me
to light what
20.
we
Come on.
talked about.
We're going to go.
This brings to light what we talked about at the top of the show.
Uh-huh.
Caroline about bringing her plants in is often it's about making mistakes and kind of going, okay,
You betty.
yeah, I know what I did wrong. I know where I need to change some things up. So it's very easy to get into that.
You can remind Marley
mindset
of this
where
at her
we think we
wedding,
got it
too.
Covered and I'm as guilty of it as anyone.
Mhm.
So it's not pointing a finger at anybody.
Yeah, it is.
anyone. It's
Marley
all
did
of
it.
Josh is sassy today.
That's Josh. We'll point a finger at you, Josh.
Okay.
well, Marley did it, but her dad didn't decide
Yeah,
to
okay, so it's
be
your fault.
better. Yeah, it is my fault. I was like, it'll be all right. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not on Marley. It's on you.
It is.
And that's okay. It still looks great. You still got some flowers in there. You got
Caroline,
a pumpkin in the back.
It doesn't look great.
looks great.
It looks half awful.
You know what you should put in there?
What?
Some lamb's ear. Tyler, do we have another photo we can put up?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Other spots around my yard, but I love this plant, y'all. It is a shrub.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
Thanks, Caroline. Thanks for showing that.
And that's a question that I had for
Figgy.
Oh,
There
Tyler.
we go. Boom.
This comes from Colin. Colin said,
Col.
hold on, lamb's ear for Austin, but just for Austin.
Colin, I saw you like 2 days ago.
So you
man.
could put some lamb's ear in that pot.
I would never. Are you kidding me?
Look how good it
A
looks.
pot of pure white pansies? You just going to me a nilly. Lamb's ear is gorgeous. And what's behind it? Tyler, bring that back up. What do we have behind it? Is that a creeping juniper or something back there? Yeah, that looks like a maybe some golden. Is that Dobbs frosted juniper?
Oh, yeah.
Sea green, sea gold. Caroline, there's not a chance.
Sure
the
you
other,
can.
No, the other
It's
pot
pretty
is
random right now with some dead pansies in the back. So
really, judgy.
that wasn't judging at all.
That was judgy.
Shots fired.
You're judging You're judging Lamsey right now, but you know what? We have to continue with the show because we are getting some live questions and comments in. Austin's not okay, so we'll let him rest for a minute. But actually, this next comment question comes from Linda, and it is geared towards Austin. Linda says, "Hi, Austin.
Hey,
Thanks for
Linda.
helping me load my earth mix yesterday."
Oh.
And then Linda asked, "Should I cut my angel trumpets and calla lilies down to the ground?" I'm not cutting my angel trumpet yet. I usually leave those stems up until winter is here.
Oh yeah, well definitely not yet. I mean, if you're lucky and everything's good, like your thing is blooming right now. I saw a big yellow one yesterday, literally yesterday, in some guy's house. I don't know. It was a guy outside, is why I say a guy's house. But it was like a 6-foot tree, and
they become trees,
yeah, and they were dangling yellow blooms, just looking beautiful. So do not cut those yet because, like I said, they're probably in bloom. Now your calla lilies are probably looking a little rough. They're getting a little strappy, getting a little floppy probably, but like I always say with everything, leave it green until it's not green anymore and then chop it to the earth and you'll see a great reflush next year. A lot of times we don't sell calla lilies all that much as like a perennial plant, but there is tons of calla lilies that come back year after year and look great. Shout out to my sister Ashley, that's her favorite flower, and I bought her one this year for Mother's Day.
Nice.
Well.
That's a gorgeous flower. I haven't grown that. Maybe I should one day.
Maybe you should.
Perhaps. All right. We ready for another question?
Let's get it.
Let's do it. Is weed barrier meant to be removed after a certain amount of time?
You know, Josh, what are you going to say? You have something in your brain cooking.
Something's going on.
What's going on over there?
Depends on what the weed barrier is. If you've got cardboard, it's going to go away anyway.
Exactly.
If you've got plastic, you shouldn't have done that in the first place. Okay. If you have the old Tyvek variety or the Typar variety, Typar variety, Tyvek you wouldn't want to use either because you'd put it up the wrong way. Anyhow, I'm a big believer in it. Now, David doesn't use it, right?
Well, I mean, the big issue I have with a Tyvek type product is that you need 3 people to install it and to do a really good job with it because it's so hard to cut. If you have 2 people holding either end of it, and you could take a razor knife and make X's where the plants are and fold it around, it's very difficult to get installed properly. Now, if you can get it in right, and you could keep it covered with mulch, it's a permanent thing. So it can be quite good. But nothing is very good when you have Bermuda grass growing nearby.
Right.
And so it becomes much more of a liability than an asset. And what you wind up doing is relenting under the siege of Bermuda grass, as it were, and you wind up tearing it all out.
Not to mention, as your mulch breaks down, it gets deeper and you get deeper, and then you have the little maple trees grow, and then you have the little mimosa trees grow, and then you have the little everything grow on top of it. But down below, I don't know why you would want to take it out.
I don't really. I mean, I don't either.
I will say, my house is an older house that apparently was fully landscaped in the 70s and 80s.
With plastic.
And now when I go to do new beds, because the owners I bought it from didn't do any gardening, they removed everything. It was just a blank canvas when I bought it. And when I do new beds around the house and even out in the yard, I find landscape barrier about this deep from soil going on top. They had pea gravel on top, then grass grew on top, then just stuff dropped, leaves. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it does make it a little easy sometimes because I can get my hands in and actually roll it back, and I'm just like scalping everything. Yeah. But it's terrible. I find it everywhere.
Oh, when I did my bed at my house as well, it was the exact same way. I was pulling up old landscape fabric that was just broken down and in there, but I needed to dig holes. I needed to get that out of there. So weed barrier is one of those things. Yeah. It's like, it's okay in the first season, second season, you're going to get weeds on top of it.
Yeah,
30 years
You're
later.
still going to pull weeds.
If it was in the 60s or the 70s, I guarantee it's 6 mil black poly.
It's very fibrous, whatever it is.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably the
it
old
could have been
Tyvek.
laid. It was maybe in the 80s, but it was a long time ago.
I've seen people put black tar paper down.
No, it's terrible. And I'll actually find multiple layers of it sometimes.
Yes. No.
It's deep in the earth. All right. Can a 5-foot Monrovia vintage gold cypress be successfully relocated?
Oh, relocated.
I left the
About to
off
say
of the beginning of
located.
that.
5-footer. Yeah, it totally can. Or, you want to dig up as much of the root as you can, like we talk about all the time. Anytime, get as much of the root ball as you can. Try to get all the roots if you can. Have your hole already dug and move it over there quick.
And when should you do it, Josh?
Before 3:30 today.
Before 3:30
Before
today.
3:30 today.
It's ball game time.
Yep,
For the ball
it
game.
is.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to do this during dormancy once
Yes.
again. So over the winter time is a great time to move it. And that's actually a very that's a hardy plant. Like that plant grows and it honestly gets big. So make sure you have a good spot for that plant.
Yep.
It's not something that's going to stay small on you. It can end up getting pretty large, but it's a cool plant to grow. And yeah, it can be moved.
Joyce
can
doesn't like landscape fabric. She says just use mulch.
Yes,
That's
Joyce.
great.
Thank you.
Joyce knows.
Yes.
Joyce does know.
Joyce was out just the other day. I helped her load. What did we load, Joyce? Like 20 bags. You've been buying earth mix like crazy, girl.
Wow,
like
Joyce.
20 bags of dirt. We threw it in there for her.
We had quite a few people out. I talked to Cherry, one of our viewers, and houseplants. I think you got to talk to her too.
I got to talk to Sherry at checkout. Yes.
Yeah.
Where was she from? What was her last name?
Cherry is, I think it starts with a W, would be.
Sherry, you know who
Cherry.
you are. We talked to you. You're great. And she lives kind of far away, I think. And
Does
she
she?
drives out to see
Cherry,
us. Yeah.
how far do you drive to see us? Let us know if
Let
you're
us know.
watching. And then you had some guests come in with a cute dog who had the same name as your youngest kid.
Oh, yeah.
Craig and
yes.
Penny.
What was it? Craig.
Craig.
Craig
How am
O'Neal.
I better at
Hey,
names right now than you?
you're just better.
I got
at
a lot of
things.
sleep last night.
Craig is the guy that Josh, you, and David gave the birthday shout out to that one time. And he still thinks that is hilarious. He was like, and also he said they didn't know my name, which was kind of funny, but he was like, it was great. He is an avid listener of the show. I guarantee he's listening right now. He's our friend from Australia, actually.
Oh, wow.
He's got a thick accent, but he is out here all the time. He's created a new bed. We've got him he's looking for new plants to put in it. He is out here all the time. What a cool guy. Cool little dog named
One of
Penny.
the cutest dogs. Penny was just sitting on the cart, one of the flat carts, just going for a ride.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was great. And
hanging on.
it was his little baby Penny, just like mine. And I was like, I got a little
I
baby
don't think
Penny.
we had his name.
You didn't?
not.
He didn't have his name.
And
He was
David,
a
That was,
special
that was
friend.
my bad.
yeah, David, he thought it was hilarious though. Like he was so totally fine with it. But he watches the show
But
every week.
we are so dedicated to trying to connect
Yes.
that we're going to put it out there, even if we don't know who we're putting it out there to.
That's okay.
That's right.
Well, you put it out there to Craig.
He
and
was
you
so
made
happy.
His birthday.
It was great.
All right, crepe myrtle question. We haven't had one in a few weeks.
It's been a
Wow.
few.
It's time. When should I trim back my crepe myrtle? Now or wait until it's dormant?
It's a dwarf one.
It's
Okay,
a dwarf one.
it's a dwarf
Doesn't
one.
matter.
I
Doesn't
know.
matter if
I
it's
was
dwarf.
like, it
Doesn't matter if
matters.
it's big.
Tyler.
If it still has leaves, we're gonna let those leaves be, y'all. This is the third time I've said this today. If it's got leaves, let it be until they go bad. Like my crepe myrtle, I would say is, let's say, 85% defoliated. Probably only has 15% of its leaves left. Like it started shedding early this year, product of the drought and the heat and everything we had. Like it just started stressing earlier, but it still has its leaves. I'm going to let that be. We've got plenty of time over the winter, y'all. We've got literally like halfway November, December, January, February, all 4 of those months we have to prune our crepe myrtle. So let's give it a little bit more time and then let's get it in check.
Perfect. How about will lantana overwinter well indoors? I'm sure you could overwinter it indoors. Just cut it back, bring it in, give it sun.
Son.
Yes, the giving it sun is the hard part.
It's going
That's
to be
the
the
hard
hard
part,
part.
yeah.
You could supplement with a grow light. I have grow light bulbs that I put in some of my fixtures through the winter to help with my plants
worth
because I
it,
have a
though?
lot. So you could do that. But I think it would be fine. I mean, I think the key is just cutting it back and sunlight.
Yeah, and what we've talked about, me and Carolina talked about that. We talked about this with Ben the other day out on the lot. Like we're talking like we literally grow like
Got a
our
little
tropical plants that we grow inside our home, your fiddle leaf figs, your Dracaena, all these things are like super warm, sun-loving plants that live in like Brazil.
Right.
You know,
Poinsettia.
So, poinsettia is the same way as plants that we grow inside our home. So why would a lantana not be able to grow inside your house through the winter? Like it's no different than any of the other plants that are tropical
You
plants.
can turn anything into a house plant if you really want.
Exactly. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't grow boxwood inside your house if you had enough light.
I think you should. You love them so much.
really?
You know what? You buy me a boxwood, I'll throw it in the house.
No, I'm not going to buy you one.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Come on, man.
But
I just don't think that. I just don't think that lantana are worth the whitefly risk that you.
yeah,
That's a good
I
point.
think that's what it comes down to.
Unless you're a very diligent sprayer before you bring things in, I would really be hesitant to be bringing that in. or maybe just cut all the foliage off of it down to sticks and then bring it in. That way you would eliminate a lot of that.
That's a good point.
If you want to get that kind of information and a whole lot more, you ought to come out and see us here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And we've been around Middle Tennessee for quite a while. Matter of fact, this is the first opportunity to officially announce it, that we were voted Best of Nashville. This is our 21st time.
Bravo.
Yes, Tyler.
Thank you for
Bravo,
that.
bravo.
15th consecutive. So
Wow.
what that means is that we're always working at trying to improve our processes, our facilities, our personnel, the plant material we have. I can't think of any more P's. Our alliteration ability. What that gives you is an experience that we think is second to none, not only in Middle Tennessee, but anywhere. We are all about helping you get the right plants in the right place the first time. And whenever you come up against things that you don't know quite how to deal with, we're here to provide answers and solutions to problems, because as we've already talked about on the show today, there are issues that come along in gardening. It's not like there are never any issues. Well, our mission is to try to give you the best opportunity to reduce the amount of issues that are likely, and to be able to quickly jump into action mode and hopefully steer you away from things that might be problematic. When we start asking you questions about your landscape, and that's usually based off of photographs on your smartphone or a tablet that you bring along with you, shows us what you've got, and we have knowledge of the light conditions and the moisture conditions. It helps us to help you to get those right plants in the right place. And that goes a long way towards keeping you from having problems. One of the things that we do here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center is I write this little newsletter every week, and appreciate always the many folks who are kind enough to read that on a weekly basis. Somehow, amazingly, it's right up against 33,000 subscribers, which is still hard for me to believe that there's that many people that have interest in it, and that we have nearly half of those some weeks that actually open and read it. So thank you for that. What we try to do in there is impart some gardening tidbits, seasonal things along the way, also to help you stay abreast of whatever special things we've got going on here at Bates Nursery. And this week is no exception. To our Bates Rewards members, those are the recipients of the email, by the way. Hardy Fern and Roses, 30% off on those.
Wow.
And our final week on Earth Mix Garden, which is the flagship brand of the Earth Mix family, 30% off on it as well. So come
Good
on
deal.
out and stock up. It's a great time. We have everything. And we've talked about the pansies. We've talked about a lot of the perennial items. We also have this extensive selection of trees, shrubs, ground covers, you name it. And what we really like to excel in is expertise. And we're going to help you get the answers to your questions here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where we are conveniently located 1 mile north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike, which is just minutes from Rivergate, Opry Mills, Nashville West. And Josh, I think it's widely believed it's worth the drive from anywhere.
Everywhere.
You
Not just
come,
anywhere,
you come from
everywhere.
some distance on a regular basis. We
Yes, I do.
appreciate that. And to all who make the drive out here, beautifying Nashville since 1932, Bates Nursery and Garden Center. So thank you for giving us a moment to talk about what we got going on here and how we can help you enhance your gardening experience.
Speaking of, real quick, before Caroline's spot, we have got Weeks Roses, hybrid teas, Floribundas, Grandifloras. We cut them back like 2 weeks ago. Y'all, they are reflushing with beautiful, clean, new foliage. They are 30% off. These roses are expensive now, y'all.
Yes.
They are expensive. You're talking $60 or $70 per rose now. So you can get that 30% off to get you an actual really cool rose. We got some great varieties there in the back in a weird spot. So if you want to come look at our fancy roses,
They're hiding in the back?
they're hiding in the back.
Yes.
Look, we had to put them in the back, let them reflush. We cut them, literally, we cut every leaf off, y'all. We cut the sticks back, which is what you got to do sometimes with roses, okay? It's part of it.
Right.
But they're
I like
all
it.
flushing, really pretty. I was helping a guest yesterday find some cool roses, and we've got some cool varieties still back there, y'all. So come
Get
and shop
on
them.
out.
They're 30% off. I was thinking about maybe getting something. I don't know. We'll see.
Please get a rose. My Carefree Wonder is looking great right now.
Yeah,
it's
that's a
blooming
great rose.
still. It's growing like crazy.
We might even have one back there.
What?
We might.
Well, that's gone if we do because I'm going to take another one home.
Oh.
Okay, you can
Don't-
have it if you want
okay,
it.
maybe.
You
All right.
need one. It's a great rose.
You know what I need?
What do you need?
I need to know what's in this room because it is beautiful.
In room with Caroline.
You know, last week I said I thought it was my favorite, but I think this week is my favorite work that I've done.
This was all you too.
here in
We
the
were-
green room.
A lovely display of flora.
It's
Thank
beautiful.
you. So let's go ahead and take you on a little tour. So in the corners, these giant trees. This is golden deodar cedar. I love this plant. We do bring this in quite often, but we usually don't get them in this big. Usually when we bring them in, it just goes right up to the ceiling. But these, I mean,
Gold on top, green on the bottom. Oh my
this
gosh.
could be your Christmas tree this
Yes,
year. I know
it
it's a little
could.
early because we still haven't quite gotten to Halloween, but come on. You could bring this into your house for just a
Good
couple days
ornament
before
strength.
Christmas.
Yes, I could see it.
Put some
would.
lights on it or
I
keep
love
it
that
outside.
application.
Yeah.
I love that application, Caroline, because of suggesting that as a living Christmas tree. You shouldn't bring it in.
No.
beside that.
Well, what I do every year is I buy a different conifer or something. I'm thinking about going different this year, and I leave it on my porch to decorate it. And then I do bring it indoors a couple days before Christmas, put it in the corner with lights on it. And then as soon as it's over, I bring it outside. But that's an excuse for me to buy more plants.
There you go.
And then underneath the TV, we've got little lime punch hydrangeas. So look at these. White, pink. I mean, they get like almost a magenta color.
That
you
may
can see them across the lot.
it may be one of the best I've ever seen that goes pure white and then fades to pink. A lot of the fading of pink with the panicle hydrangeas are not all that great. This one is deep pink.
Yes.
Like that's nice.
Almost red.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really good color change on that one.
I feel
Little
like
lime
as
punch.
soon as they come off the trucks when we get them in, they're on carts being sold.
Pretty
They go,
much.
you brought those. It wasn't Little Lime Punch. It was something else, but looked a lot like it. And I remember you brought it up to a display and it sold in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like literally immediately.
Yeah, very quickly. And then we'll go ahead and move to what's in front of us. On the corners, we've got...
Sorry, you didn't go there.
All right, there's a cat in here right now. A cat escaped into the green room. We have Blue Shadow Father Gila. So I love this plant. I have a couple of them. They're beautiful, and it's something that blooms early in the spring. So we've talked about those a little bit, but these have little... it's like a little starburst bloom, and then the foliage opens. It's a great plant.
This
Mine
one's
doesn't
covered
look,
up with them.
look as good as that because I didn't really take care of
Great
it in the
foliage.
drought.
Caroline, talk about the fall color on that.
The fall color is stunning. I feel like it rivals Amsonia, which we've talked a lot about. It's like the shrub hardier version of Amsonia. It's stunning.
To me, its fall color rivals anything.
Really?
It's so good.
It beats Amsonia for sure.
I mean, like I said, it rivals it. It rivals it.
I mean, it's got oranges and reds and yellows
got
in it.
all
It's
the
pretty
colors.
amazing. It can be tie-dye
And we-
sometimes.
We have a
looking.
lot right now. So come see Ryan, talk to him about this plant because it's great. And then in front, I had to bring in some roses because we're having a rose sale. We've got itsy bitsy peach miniature roses from Monrovia. You can see them kind of peeking up. There they are.
They're cute.
They're so cute. They were in the front of the rose section here at the nursery, and they were just looking over all the roses. And I said, we got to bring that in because it also matches our color scheme today.
And it also has a little bit of a dappled finish to it. It's going on in the bloom there. It's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I want to bring some home. I don't need to bring home any more plants because I have way too many things that I need to put in the ground. And then we've got some stone crop sedum. I mean, I had to sadly knock so many have them gently go away.
The bees.
Sleepy bees that were on this sedum when I went to bring it in. But sedum is going crazy right now still. It's its time. It's so good, y'all. I love sedum. We have so many different kinds, sprawly ones, upright, all of it. And then Austin's got his hand in front of some heuchera. Heuchera being one of my favorite fall winter plants that I use in my mixed containers. This is caramel. Look how orange it looks on camera. This is pretty true to color if you were to see it in real life. So again, it's a great shade-loving plant that gives you some color through the winter. It's not going to give you blooms through the winter. It will in the late spring, but it just gives you that pop of color that everybody wants. Now, we've had a couple questions about what this purple flower is that Austin was playing with earlier, yes. So that is an aster. So that's a purple stem aster. We just got a lot of these in back in the perennials. Come see Bridge. Get you some. Also, asters are going crazy right now, blooming. They are stunning. This little lavender one, super cute. And then, of course, I had to bring in some ornamental cabbage because we are stocked up back in the nursery, and they're huge.
Wow.
Look at that cabbage.
Look how big that is. It's stunning. It's perfect. It's so clean.
Great
So
filler material.
You guys keep asking about things that are going to flower in the winter, but I mean, why would you need this to flower? Why would you need the heuchera to flower? Like, I much prefer how the plant itself looks with the leaves. Because if this were to flower, it would be like one little spike coming up. It's not going to, but I would say if it did, that's what it would be.
Love the leaf.
Love the leaf.
There it is.
And then let's talk about our feature plant. This is one that I didn't know anything about.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Wow.
This is a climbing aster.
Oh, boy.
What?
Yes.
I've never heard of a climbing aster
So when
either.
I was back in the back looking for stuff, Bridget, shout out to Bridget, fantastic. She
Bridge.
knows so much. Love her.
She's bringing in crazy natives too.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's our native.
We are getting so many great natives in here. She is, you're right, Tyler. She's bringing a lot into the nursery. So this is a Southeast native, great for pollinators. She said it's going to bloom this time of year and it has a really good smell, but it's called a climbing aster. She says you do have to start training it, but it will get like 6 foot tall.
Stop.
If you don't want it to climb, she said it becomes kind of a woody sprawler.
Okay.
So look
Wow.
at those soft pink blooms just spinning.
Oh,
Woody Sprawler sounds like an old football coach.
yeah.
Yes, it does.
I tell you what, though, if you put that on a trellis and got an aster 6 feet tall and it bloomed in the fall, like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
wanna
an
try
aster
one.
fan, but if there was a 6-footer out there that was adorned in blooms from top to bottom, I'd be about that.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got some other asters. There's a darker purple one with longer petals on it. I can't remember the name. It's escaped me, but that one, it didn't quite match the
You
color
talking about
palette.
big-headed?
Yes, big-headed. That one was really, really cool
Grandiflora.
too. But we just got a shipment of them in, and they look so good. So y'all come on down, get you some asters. Say hi to Bridget. Say hi to everybody here, because
Great.
we love to talk about plants and
Yes.
see you guys.
Great work, Caroline.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
This is a
Yes,
beautiful set
very
today.
good, very
Thank
good.
you. I was
wanna-
very proud of it.
I want to throw in, because you just mentioned Amsonia, and I took a photo in my garden of the regular Amsonia on the left, and then on the right, this
Pictures
is
always come up so quickly.
Yes, they do.
yeah. I wonder how that happens. And on the right is butterscotch, so you can see it's like a thicker leaf.
Thicker leaf.
Yeah, and
About
but
the same size.
the Amsonia, I think it's just Arkansas Blue Star.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is fluff because it's absolutely incredible. It's just like yellow clouds, like so inspiring.
So inspiring. And we have a lot of it here at the nursery right now. You can come look at it, and ours are changing colors. So when you see them on the table, it's just this palette of all these warm colors that look just like a sunset.
They're great.
It's beautiful.
Very good plant.
While we're on photos, we've got a photo that came in from Linda. Linda says, hello from Clarksville. She
Hey,
has
Linda.
sent a picture of a hydrangea along with gold mops planted to replace.
It's a little bit of a part of hydrangea. It's kind of what we have to live with a little bit. You can shorten just a little bit on that to kind of cut the leg out a little bit, but I don't want you to take those sticks all the way to the dirt. Leave them up. The only thing I've got an issue with that picture is those gold mops are very close to that hydrangea, and gold mops get very large.
You see
They're gonna
them
steal
eating
the show.
houses. Yeah.
They are going to swallow that thing as they age. And honestly, gold mop does not grow slow. It's a plant that actually grows pretty quickly. So if you were ever going to think about moving something, that hydrangea, I mean, honestly, it looks fine. It looks happy right there. I mean, especially if it got through this summer's drought and all that in that spot, it's looking pretty dang good for this time of year. But those gold mops are one of they're so cute and small whenever you buy them, but
Austin
But
made
they-
a little tip on estimating the size
Yes,
on our
but-
channel because of this.
I did, because they're a misused plant. It's kind of like putting a big treeform holly on the corner of your home. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. And gold mop is no different. That plant can literally get 8 to 10 feet tall, and it ends up looking like a small ornamental tree. Okay, so just know that it's fine now, but you will probably see those kind of swallow that hydrangea at some point. I'm sorry.
So
Larry.
one of them might need to
Transplanting is
move.
definitely in the future.
Yes.
One of those items is going to have to go, and the gold mops, which I have seen it from personal experience in years, really, it's one of those plants that somehow we, as an industry, have kind of been given the con job on those. We have somehow, I don't know if they lied to us outright or whether we just want to believe that they're going to stay in this similar form. And about 4 or 5 years in the ground, and they just go woof.
Yes.
And it's just amazing how huge they will get and how quickly they'll get there. So you kind of need to have a plan in mind, because unless there's a lot of space there, certainly one of those two are going to have to be chosen to be moved, or either move the gold mops or move the hydrangea.
Move the hydrangea.
Agreed.
Yeah, something's going to have to go. All right, let's get a couple more questions. And we've got a pothos question. Pothos has white webs. I used alcohol to clean, but it's still there. Any advice? Yes, I bet it's spider mites, unless you have a lot of little spiders on that plant. And with spider mites, you do have to keep retreating until you take care of it. So wiping it down one time is more than likely not going to kill all those pests. So you can use neem oil. Make sure you're diluting that rubbing alcohol if you are using it. Just keep wiping down your plant. You can actually bring it into your shower and just turn the plant upside down and spray it off. That will help get all those spider mites out of there and just run them down the drain. Keep doing it. You might have to do it like 5 more times, but spider mites can be pretty easy to treat, so that should take care of it.
Definitely.
They don't like excessive moisture at all.
No, they don't.
In the overhead irrigation system situation around the nurseries, it's rarely an issue for us because, particularly on things like spruce that are very susceptible to them, they don't like the foliage being wet all the time, so they just almost never become an issue in that kind of situation. So the treatment you're talking about, very effective.
Mm-hmm.
All right, best month to plant milkweed seeds. So I usually kind of plant mine. I think about when nature takes its course. So my milkweed it has seed pods and they're going to start dropping. So I typically would plant that in the fall so they can get in there, get all snuggled in, and then give you a really, really strong plant in the spring.
Get good and cold in the wintertime.
Get good and cold in the wintertime.
You can also simulate that by stratifying it in some soil medium in your fridge for 2 to 3 weeks. Just dampen some soil, put the seeds in.
I'd forget it. I just do it outside.
It's, the methodology is solid either way.
It is. Mm-hmm. Is it too late to overseed lawns?
This is a great
What time
week.
is it?
Yeah, this is a great week for seeding. Me and Ben, actually, Ben's kind of he's a horticulturist out here that is awesome, really cool guy, but he knows a lot about lawns. He used to work for True Green, who did a lot of lawn work. And we were talking last week, we were like, this is like the time to plant your seed, especially say fescue or overseeding rye, whatever you want to do. This is the week to do it. The weather is picture perfect for seeding.
Don't wait.
No, it's time.
Don't wait. Get out there and do it.
Yep. Man, is that the music already?
Wow.
Oh, I
That's
didn't
it.
even realize.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
Teresa
creep
wants
up
to
on us.
know if it's Georgia or Texas. Doesn't really matter, Teresa.
Nah.
Horns down. Because the real UT is in
down. What does
Knoxville.
that even
Yeah, baby.
Alrighty. Hey, folks, that music means that it is time to get out of here. And these folks got to get busy because it's going to be busy here at the nursery. But you need to come out here and take advantage of the 30% off all the roses sale.
Yeah.
And hardy ferns.
And hardy
Oh,
ferns.
yeah. Come get your ferns.
Perennial ferns.
Yeah.
But next Saturday morning, we're going to come in here and we're going to do another edition of Gardening Inside Out right here from the Green Room Studio at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Thanks for being here, folks. We'll see you then.